What's up, everybody? Tyson Rouse. Let's talk Jets radio. Week 1, regular season. We've made it. Jets, Panthers, made for TV drama. Wilson versus Darnold in Carolina. Primetime, Tyrone and myself will all be going. I cannot wait. So I guess what we'll do is I'll break this game down a little bit, not in as much detail as everybody else, other sites. I'm just a fan perspective and my prediction. I guess the injury report of note for the Jets, Jamison Crowder's been ruled out. Keelan Cole is questionable. Thankfully, the Jets have depth at wide receiver position where hopefully Elijah Moore is 100% healthy. He can get back at it. You have Corey Davis. You have Denzel Mims. You have Braxton Berrios and Jeff Smith. They have plenty of talent there. The running back group is solid. Hopefully, Ty Johnson gets a lot of carries. The tight end group, who knows? I mean, you got Tyler Croft, Trayvon Wesco. But, as a first-time play caller, it'll be really interesting to see how Mike LaFleur handles this. Do they try to establish the run to try to take the pressure off Zach Wilson, open up the play-action pass? Do they try to go after a secondary that's kind of weak? It's just, I think the early part of this game, it could be a little ugly, a little skittish for the Jets, like I said, with a first-time play caller and a rookie quarterback. And I guess the obvious thing is you want to get Zach Wilson comfortable as quick as possible. So it'll be really interesting to see how they do that. But like I said, I think it could be a little ugly early on. And then obviously you want to get your playmakers active too, like start featuring Corey Davis and things like that. Now, the Panthers defense is going to be a challenge. You have Brian Burns against Becton, will be fascinating. Mekhi Becton had a up and down training camp where there was times where he struggled against Carl Lawson, but maybe that's just because Carl Lawson's that good. But he also struggled against the Packers too. So Brian Burns, explosive edge rusher. How does Becton handle him? They have Hassan Reddick on the other side. So the Jets' offensive line, which has not played together as a unit, is going to have their hands full with a pass rush. Now, there's ways to, I'd like to see how Mike LaFleur handles it if the offensive line struggles. Does he roll Wilson out? Does he make it to a quick passing game? How do they handle that adversity? But honestly, if we're being truthful, I think this offense, after their first couple of series, has a chance to make some plays. I think they have enough playmakers. I like the way Wilson plays. I think there'll be plenty of opportunities in the passing game to put up some points. Like I said, even with Crowder and Cole out, I think they still can do some things. On defense, the Jets, I think, are going to have their hands full. Obviously, we all know Sam Darnold, but we know Sam Darnold under Adam Gase. We don't know Sam Darnold under Joe Brady, surrounded by playmakers. They get Christian McCaffrey back, which I'm not sure they're going to feature him a lot. How many touches he'll get in this first game back after a serious injury. But you have, obviously Robbie Anderson, who already has chemistry. You have DJ Moore. You have Terrence Marshall, who's a very good player. So the Jets' very, very young secondary is going to get tested early and often. And how does the defense handle it? Robert Saleh is a first-time head coach. How does he handle this adversity if these young corners start struggling? Like the one comment he made in his press conference was, as long as these guys keep fighting, I'm not taking them out. I'm going to let them fight through it. They got to learn through it. Obviously, you have one very good safety, Marcus May. LaMarcus Joyner's a veteran, which is good. That will help. But, it's going to be on these young corners. I don't really know if maybe they play a lot of zone. Maybe they play 3 safeties. Maybe they try to hide them that way. I'm not sure they're going to play a lot of man-to-man. And then the other question I have on defense is going to be the outside linebackers. I think it's a defensive line, which is going to be the Jets' strength, with Rankins and Quinnen Williams and Fotokasi and all these guys coming after it, John Franklin Myers and Bryce Huff. If they can get after it, it's good, but where they start doing, wheel routes out of the backfield, can the outside linebackers like a Jamie Sherwood, how are they going to handle it? Can they keep up? How do we handle that passing game? How do we handle tight ends? I'm not really sure how the Jets adjust to that. So to me, I think the defense, and obviously there's a lot of pressure on C.J. Mosley to have an excellent game. He's got to be sideline to sideline. He's got to communicate. He's got to work with all these young players, keep them in sync, keep their heads up, keep them focused. And, Marcus May is the same challenge in the back with all those young corners, too. So the Jets need a lot of leadership on defense. They're going to face a lot of adversity, be a lot of trial by fire. And I think, even though you can say what you want about Sam Darnold, obviously you want to hit him. That's what you want Quinnen Williams to be very disruptive. You want to collapse the pocket, give him happy feet, everything else. But if you give him time, he's going to have guys, very good, talented receivers. And I think they're going to have very competent, capable play calling to feature some of his strengths too. Like a lot of people want to dump on Sam Darnold. He's still a good quarterback, and I think they're going to maximize his strengths like they should. I think they're going to put up points as well. So I think it's going to be, to me, I'm not a betting person, but to me, I think that the over-under is 43 or 44. I take the over. I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game. Yeah, and I think, my heart says I'd love to see the Jets keep this game close and try to find a way to win it. But I just think the Panthers are in year 2 of their rebuild. Their systems are more established. Their offense, defense are in place. They've already been there, done that once. With the Jets, this is a first time experience for a lot of these players. First time playing in front of fans, first NFL game, there's so many firsts and so many unknowns and so many things that happen. I mean, Zach Wilson hasn't even been hit yet. How does he react to getting pounded by a defensive end? If Brian Burns lights him up or something like that? There's so many firsts, so many unknowns on the road. Who knows what kind of crowd it is? There may be a lot of Jet fans there, actually, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. My heart says, I just want to see the Jets just play at a high-level game and find a way to squeak this out. But my brain, which is obviously it's very small at times. Some people tell me that. Just says that the Panthers are just a little bit better right now. If this game is played 8 weeks from now, I think the Jets have a better chance of winning than they do week 1. If that makes any sense. So in terms of a score prediction, I'm looking at 34-21, 34-24 Panthers. It'll be a high-scoring game. And I think the stats will be a little gaudy. And I think towards the end, probably mid-third quarter, you're going to see a lot of Jets just throwing the ball a lot to try to keep up and stay in the game. And we'll see what happens. I mean, I've been wrong a million times before. I just trying to be really honest about, we all have high hopes for a lot of these young players, and we want to have belief in them. But, first NFL game, and the matchups are just, both offenses have good matchups. It's just how the defenses handle them and how the defense cover them. I think the Panthers have a little bit more on defense right now than the Jets do. It's not saying a lot. I think both defenses are going to be average. And I wish the Jets had Carl Lawson. If the Jets had Carl Lawson, I could find probably a much bigger case for the Jets to keep this game close, to even win it. Shaq Lawson could have an impact, but nowhere near what Carl Lawson was. But the loss, I think, is enormous. So that's my prediction. I hope to be wrong. I'd love to get a win. I'll be rooting like crazy to get this win. I mean, there'll be nothing better than walking out of that stadium with a big win. And it's nothing personal against Sam Darnold. This is about getting Zach Wilson his first win, Robert Saleh's first win, and everybody moving on. And the other thing, too, is if Darnold does light the Jets up for whatever reason, this is not an indictment that the Jets made a bad choice. Everybody had to move on. And, it's just this is one game. The outcome, the final determination for Sam Darnold's career is going to be how the next 17 games go for him. The final outcome for Zach Wilson is a couple of years from now. Let's not forget, Sam Darnold's 3 years in. This is Zach Wilson's first game. Do not compare apples and oranges and throw out your hot takes. It's just foolish. Have a good day.